Have you ever noticed how, on some mornings, the world feels lighter? The tea tastes sweeter. The sunlight through the window seems to understand you. And on other mornings, that same sunlight feels harsh, reminding you of everything that isn't quite right. What changed between those two mornings? Not the sun, not the tea. Something inside you shifted. The Buddha understood this when he taught a truth that still echoes today. Happiness is not found in circumstances. It is found in how we meet them. You've lived long enough to know this already. You've seen people with everything who smile rarely, and others with very little who somehow radiate warmth. And yet, knowing this doesn't make it easier when your mind fills with worry, when negative thoughts circle like birds you cannot shoo away. If that's where you are today, you're not alone. The Dharma offers something profound, not a cure for life's difficulties, but a way to remain steady within them. Today, we'll explore this together, because true happiness isn't something you chase, it's something you uncover, one gentle breath at a time. 1. The winter that never seems to end. There's a phrase people use, "I'm going through a rough patch," but sometimes it doesn't feel like a patch at all. It feels like winter has settled in and forgotten to leave. I once knew a woman named Beatrice, 73, who said, "I used to think I was just having a bad day. Then it became a bad week, then a bad month. And somewhere along the way, I stopped counting. I just started living in grey." Beatrice wasn't depressed in the clinical sense. She still got up in the morning, still made her meals. But somewhere deep inside, the light had dimmed. The small joys that once punctuated her days, the crossword puzzle, the garden, the evening walk, all felt like obligations. What Beatrice was experiencing is what the Buddha called dukkha. This word is often translated as suffering, but that doesn't quite capture it. Dukkha is more subtle. It's the background hum of dissatisfaction, the quiet ache that whispers something isn't right, even when nothing is overtly wrong. The Buddha taught that this feeling isn't a personal failing. It's simply how we've been conditioned to relate to our lives. We believe happiness depends on getting things right, on circumstances aligning, on other people behaving the way we hope they will. And when those things don't happen, we hurt. There's an old Buddhist teaching about 2 arrows. The first arrow is the pain that life inevitably brings: loss, illness, disappointment, change. We cannot avoid it. But the second arrow, that's the one we shoot at ourselves. It's our resistance, our rumination, our insistence that things should be different. The Buddha said, "Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional." Beatrice began to understand this during a difficult week. Her grandson had cancelled another visit. Her arthritis was flaring. As she sat at her kitchen table, she noticed something. The actual pain in her joints wasn't what was making her miserable. It was the story she was telling herself. "This means I'm getting old. This means I'm becoming a burden." When she noticed the story, just noticed it without judgment, something shifted. The pain was still there, but the heaviness lightened. She wasn't fighting reality anymore. She was simply sitting with what was true. This is where peace begins. Not in having a perfect life, but in releasing the war against the life you have. 2. The mind that refuses to rest. Negative thoughts are relentless. They arrive uninvited. They repeat themselves like a song you can't get out of your head. "I should have done things differently. It's too late now. No one really cares." These thoughts don't knock politely. They barge in and make themselves comfortable. The Buddha understood that the mind, left untended, is like a garden overrun with weeds. This is what Buddhists call the monkey mind, restless, jumping from branch to branch, never still. But here's what the Buddha also taught. You are not your thoughts. Watch closely what happens in your own mind. Thoughts arise, seemingly on their own. You didn't order them. They simply appeared, like clouds drifting across the sky. The practice of mindfulness is simply this: noticing thoughts without becoming them. When a negative thought arises, "I'm useless," instead of believing it or fighting it, you simply note, there's the "I'm useless" thought again. This small shift, from being the thought to witnessing the thought, changes everything. You create space, and in that space, you remember, this thought is not the truth. It's just a thought. I met a retired teacher named Vincent, who struggled with this for years. Every evening, his mind would replay conversations from decades ago, moments where he felt he'd failed his students. The thoughts were exhausting and felt inescapable. Then one day, during a meditation class, the instructor said something that stopped him cold. "You don't have to believe everything you think." The next time the familiar thought arrived, "You failed them," Vincent tried something new. Instead of arguing with it or collapsing under its weight, he simply whispered to himself, "There's that old thought again." And the thought, remarkably, lost some of its power. It was still there, but it no longer owned him. This is what the Buddha meant by mental discipline. It's not about forcing your mind to think only happy thoughts. That's exhausting and impossible. It's about learning to relate to your thoughts differently, to see them as passing weather rather than permanent truth. The practice is gentle. Pause, notice, and remember, I am the sky, not the storm. 3. The tyranny of should. There's a particular kind of negative thought that causes immense suffering, and it usually begins with the word should. I should be happier. They should appreciate me more. Life should be easier by now. This person should have called. These thoughts feel righteous, don't they? But the Buddha would say these shoulds are actually chains. They bind you to an imaginary version of reality where everything unfolds according to your preferences. And because reality rarely cooperates, you suffer. The Dharma calls this tanha, often translated as craving or clinging. It's the deep-seated belief that your happiness depends on the world being different than it is. Think about it. When you say, "My children should visit more often," what you're really saying is, "My happiness depends on them visiting more often." You've handed your peace of mind to someone else, made it contingent on their choices. And now you're stuck, waiting, hoping, quietly resenting. But what if you could release that expectation? Not because you don't love your children, but because you understand that your happiness is your own responsibility, not theirs. There's a beautiful Buddhist parable about a farmer whose horse ran away. His neighbor said, "What terrible luck." The farmer replied, "Maybe." The next day, the horse returned with 3 wild horses. "What wonderful luck," the neighbor exclaimed. Again, the farmer said, "Maybe." His son tried to tame one of the wild horses, was thrown, and broke his leg. "How awful," said the neighbor. "Maybe," said the farmer. Then war broke out, and because the son's leg was broken, he was spared from conscription. "What fortune," the neighbor cried. And the farmer, once more, simply said, "Maybe." The story isn't teaching us to be indifferent. It's teaching us to stop dictating to life how it should unfold. The farmer's peace didn't come from getting what he wanted. It came from accepting what arrived. This doesn't mean becoming passive. It means distinguishing between effort and attachment. You can work towards something you care about without insisting that your happiness depends on achieving it. You can hope your children visit without making their absence mean you're unloved. The Buddha taught that this kind of acceptance, what Buddhists call upeksha or equanimity, is a form of deep wisdom. It's the understanding that life is not under your control, and that's okay. In fact, it's liberating. When you release the tyranny of should, you discover something astonishing. You already have everything you need to be at peace right now. 4. What happiness actually is. Let's pause and ask, what do we mean when we say we want to be happy? For most people, happiness feels like a mood that arises when good things happen. A pleasant visit from a grandchild, a compliment from a friend, a sunny day after weeks of rain. But the Buddha would say, that's not happiness, that's pleasure. And pleasure, while lovely, is fleeting. It comes and goes based on circumstances outside your control. True happiness, what the Buddha called sukha, is something different. It's not a reaction to good fortune, it's a steady inner contentment that exists regardless of what's happening around you. It's the peace that comes from no longer being at war with yourself or your life. The Buddha described 3 levels of happiness. The first is sense pleasure, the happiness from pleasant experiences. Good food, comfortable surroundings, kind words. There's nothing wrong with this, but it's unreliable. It depends entirely on conditions lining up in your favor, and conditions are always changing. You enjoy a delicious meal, but an hour later you're hungry again. Someone praises you, but the glow fades. This kind of happiness is like drinking salt water. It never truly satisfies. The second level is deeper. It's the happiness that comes from concentration and inner calm, what you might experience during meditation or when fully absorbed in something meaningful. A gardener losing track of time among the roses. A reader so engrossed in a story that the world falls away. This happiness is more stable because it comes from within, but even this can fade when the mind becomes restless again. It requires certain conditions: quiet, focus, the right circumstances. The third and deepest level is what the Buddha called the happiness of liberation. It's the peace that comes from finally letting go of the endless wanting, the constant clinging to what cannot be held. It's freedom from the tyranny of needing life to be different than it is. This happiness doesn't depend on anything external. It's not conditional. It simply is. Now, I know what you might be thinking. That sounds beautiful, but also impossible. How can I be happy when my body hurts, when I'm lonely, when I'm facing real problems? The Dharma isn't asking you to pretend everything is fine when it isn't. It's asking something subtler. Can you hold pain without it consuming you? Can you experience loneliness without letting it convince you that you're worthless? Can you face difficulty without telling yourself that you shouldn't have to? A man I knew, Leonard, put it beautifully. At 78, after his wife died, he found himself alone for the first time in 52 years. The grief was enormous, the loneliness was real, and yet, one day he said to me, "I'm learning that I can be sad and okay at the same time. The sadness doesn't mean something is wrong with me. It just means I loved someone deeply, and now I miss her. That's not a problem. That's just true." This is the kind of happiness the Buddha spoke of. Not the absence of pain, but the presence of peace even within pain. It's knowing, at a deep level, that you're all right, that you can hold whatever arises, that nothing needs to be different for you to be fundamentally okay. Think of it this way. Happiness isn't about getting rid of storms. It's about learning to dance in the rain. It's not about eliminating all difficulty from your life. It's about finding the ground beneath your feet that remains stable, no matter how hard the wind blows. And here's the beautiful part. This kind of happiness is accessible to you right now. Not someday when your problems are solved, but today, simply by shifting how you meet what's already here, by accepting what you cannot change, by being present with what is, by treating yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a dear friend. 5. The practice of coming home to now. The Buddha taught that most of our suffering comes from living anywhere but the present moment. We dwell in the past, replaying old hurts and missed opportunities, or we project into the future, worrying about what might go wrong. And meanwhile, life, the only life we actually have, is happening right here, largely unnoticed. The Buddha once asked his disciples, "What is the most important time?" After various answers, he said, "The most important time is now. The most important person is the one you're with. And the most important thing is to do good for that person." Why is now so important? Because it's the only moment where you have any power. You cannot change the past. You cannot control the future. But right now, in this breath, you can choose how you meet your experience. You can choose awareness over reactivity. You can choose kindness over harshness. Here's something most people don't realize. When you're truly present, most problems dissolve. Not because they're solved, but because they're not actually here yet. The worry about what might happen tomorrow is not happening now. The regret about what happened yesterday is not happening now. Right now, in this very moment. How are you? Really? I want to share a simple practice you can try right now. Place your hand on your chest. Feel it rise and fall with your breath. Notice the texture of your clothing against your skin. Hear the sounds around you, not as distractions, but simply as sounds. Are you safe right now, in this exact moment? Not tomorrow, not in your worries about what might happen, but right now. Most of the time, when we honestly check in with the present moment, we find that right now, we're okay. Not perfect, not problem-free, but okay. The crisis we're worried about hasn't actually arrived yet. And even if difficulty is present, we're here, breathing, aware, able to meet it. This is what the Buddha meant by mindfulness. It's not a technique to make problems disappear. It's a way of being that allows you to stop adding suffering to pain, to stop drowning in thoughts about the past and future, and to discover the ground of okayness that's always beneath your feet. You might be thinking, but what about my real problems? What about the things that actually need to change? And yes, there are times for planning, for problem solving, for taking action. The Buddha wasn't teaching passivity, but even when you need to address something, you do it better from a place of presence and clarity than from a place of panic and rumination. The practice is simple. Notice when your mind has wandered into worry or regret. Without judgment, without making it wrong, simply note, I'm thinking about the future, or I'm replaying the past. And then, gently, like guiding a child back to the path, bring yourself back to breath, back to body, back to this moment. Over time, something remarkable happens. The present moment stops feeling like enemy territory and starts feeling like home. And in that homecoming, you find a happiness that doesn't depend on circumstances lining up perfectly. You find the peace of being here, fully, for the life you actually have. 6. The inner refuge you can always return to. As we age, many of the external things we once relied on for happiness begin to shift or fade. Health becomes less predictable. Relationships change. The roles that once defined us, parent, worker, caretaker, evolve or disappear. And we're left with a question that can feel frightening. If I can't depend on the outside world to make me happy, what can I depend on? The Buddha had a profound answer. Shortly before he died, he gathered his disciples and said something that has echoed through 2,500 years. Be a lamp unto yourself. Seek refuge in yourself. Seek refuge in the Dharma. Seek refuge nowhere else. At first, this might sound lonely, but it's actually the most empowering teaching imaginable. The Buddha is saying, you already carry within you everything you need to find peace. You don't need perfect circumstances. You don't need other people to behave a certain way. You don't need to wait for some future moment when everything finally aligns. Right now, as you are, you have access to inner freedom. This teaching, often called being your own refuge, isn't about isolation or self-reliance in the harsh, pull yourself up by your bootstraps sense. It's about understanding that while you can appreciate kindness from others, while you can enjoy good fortune when it comes, your fundamental okayness cannot depend on these things. Because these things change. They shift like sand beneath your feet. But your capacity to meet change with awareness, with compassion, with steadiness, that remains. That's bedrock. Think of it this way. Imagine you're a tree. When storms come, and they will, the branches might bend and leaves might fall. But if your roots are deep, if you're grounded in something stable, the storm doesn't destroy you. It might test you, it might challenge you, but it doesn't break you. That's what cultivating inner refuge means. It means growing roots so deep in awareness, in compassion, in acceptance, that no matter what weathers through your life, you remain fundamentally grounded. The storms may rage, but you stand firm. A woman named Florence, 81, once told me about discovering this. After years of looking to her children for validation, waiting for visits that never came often enough, resenting their busy lives, she finally had enough. Not in an angry way, but in a clear-sighted way. She realized she'd been treating her happiness like something they owed her, like their job was to fill a hole inside her that only she could fill. She started simple. Each morning, she would sit with a cup of tea, not doing anything, just being present. Noticing the warmth of the cup, watching the steam rise, feeling grateful for the ability to sit, to see, to taste. These weren't grand spiritual experiences. They were quiet moments of presence. But over time, something shifted. She stopped feeling like she was waiting for life to begin when her children called. She started feeling like her life was already here, already full, already enough. This is the freedom of being your own refuge. It doesn't mean you stop loving others or hoping for connection. It means you stop making your peace contingent on getting what you hope for. You discover that you can be joyful in solitude, content in uncertainty, steady even when everything around you is changing. The practice is this. Each day, even for just 5 minutes, turn inward. Place your hand on your heart. Breathe gently. And remind yourself, I am here. I am enough. I can meet this moment. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are the witness to your own life. And that witnessing is a form of love. It's saying to yourself, whatever you're experiencing, I'm here with you. You're not alone. When you cultivate this inner refuge, when you learn to be your own compassionate companion, you discover that happiness isn't about external conditions falling into place. It's about coming home to yourself, again and again, no matter what's happening around you. 7. Rewiring ancient patterns. Let's address something practical. How do we actually change the patterns that keep negative thoughts circulating? After 60, 70, or 80 years of thinking in certain grooves, can the mind really shift? The answer, and this is backed by both ancient wisdom and modern neuroscience, is yes. What Buddhists have known for millennia, and what science now confirms, is that the brain remains capable of change throughout life. This is what neuroscientists call neuroplasticity, and it means you truly can teach an old dog new tricks. But here's the key. Change doesn't happen through force. It happens through repetition, attention, and kindness. Think of it like water wearing down stone. One drop doesn't make a difference, but thousands of drops over time carve canyons. The Buddha taught what's called wise effort. It's not about gritting your teeth and forcing yourself to think differently. It's about gently, consistently, redirecting your attention toward what's helpful and away from what's harmful. Here's how this works in practice. When a negative thought arises, let's say, nobody cares about me, Instead of believing it or battling it, you practice what Buddhists call substitution. You consciously bring to mind something that counters the negative thought. Not a false platitude, but a genuine truth. Maybe you remember a kind word from a neighbor last week. Maybe you recall a moment when you felt connected. Maybe you simply say to yourself, "That thought causes suffering. Let me think something truer." This isn't superficial positive thinking. It's training your mind to notice and amplify what's actually good, actually true, actually worth your attention. Because here's what happens. Whatever you pay attention to grows. If you spend your day rehearsing resentments, resentment becomes your companion. If you spend your day noticing small kindnesses, even tiny ones, your world begins to feel kinder. A man named Walter, a retired accountant, tried this after years of bitterness toward his ex-wife. Every day, his mind would spiral into old arguments, replaying who said what, who was wrong, nursing grievances decades old. He knew it was poisoning him, but he didn't know how to stop. Then he started a simple practice. Every time the bitter thought arose, instead of feeding it, he would pause and name 3 things he appreciated right now. The coffee in his hand, the bird outside his window, the fact that his body still worked well enough to stand, to walk, to be here. At first, it felt forced, almost silly. But after weeks of this, something began to shift. The bitter thoughts still came, but they had less grip, and the space they once occupied began to fill with something lighter. This is what the Buddha meant by guarding the mind, not in a harsh, controlling way, but with the gentle vigilance of a gardener who notices weeds early and removes them before they take over the garden. Another practice the Buddha taught is metta, or loving kindness. It's a way of training the heart to default to kindness rather than judgment. You can try this right now. Bring to mind someone you care about. Silently say, "May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease." Feel the warmth of that wish. Then, and this is the challenging part, extend it to yourself. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. At first, this might feel strange or uncomfortable. That's okay. The resistance itself is information. It's showing you where your heart has closed. But if you practice this regularly, even for just a few minutes a day, you begin to rewire your default emotional responses. Instead of criticism being your first reaction, kindness becomes your first reaction. Instead of worry being your constant companion, care becomes your companion. The Buddha taught that we become what we repeatedly do. If you repeatedly indulge negative thoughts, you become a more negative person. If you repeatedly practice redirecting attention toward kindness, truth, and presence, you become that instead. Not overnight, not perfectly, but gradually, unmistakably, you change. And here's the beautiful part. You're not too old for this. As long as you're breathing, as long as there's awareness, the possibility for transformation remains. Each moment is a new beginning. Each breath is a chance to choose differently. 8. Living with intention, not reaction. There's a particular freedom that comes from understanding something the Buddha taught deeply. You may not be able to control what arises in your mind or in your life, but you can always choose how you respond. This is what it means to live with intention rather than reaction. Most of us spend our days reacting. Something happens, and we respond automatically. Someone says something hurtful, and we feel hurt. Our body aches, and we feel despair. It's like being a puppet on strings. But the Buddha taught that between stimulus and response, there's a gap, and in that gap lies your freedom. You don't have to react, you can respond. And the difference between reacting and responding is the difference between suffering and freedom. Reacting is automatic, unconscious, habitual. Responding is conscious. It means you notice the trigger, you feel the urge to react, and you pause. In that pause, you choose. I knew a woman, Sylvia, who practiced this beautifully. At 76, living alone, she had every reason to become bitter. Her husband had died, her children lived far away, her health was declining, but every morning she would sit at her kitchen table with her journal and write one sentence: "Today, I choose peace." Then, as her day unfolded, whenever she felt herself slipping into complaint or resentment, she would remember, "I chose peace." And she would pause, breathe, and ask herself, "Is this thought bringing me peace? Is this reaction serving my intention?" She wasn't perfect. Some days were harder than others. But that simple practice of setting an intention and then returning to it throughout the day kept her grounded. It reminded her that she wasn't powerless, that even in difficult circumstances, she could choose her inner state. This is the heart of Buddhist practice, taking responsibility for your own mind. Not in a harsh, self-blaming way, but in an empowering way. It's understanding that while you can't control the world, you can cultivate your inner garden. When you live with intention, you stop feeling like a victim of circumstance. You start feeling like the author of your own experience, not in the sense that you control what happens, but in the sense that you shape what it means. Finding meaning when meaning feels lost. There's a particular kind of suffering that comes with age. The quiet question, what's the point anymore? When the roles that once defined you have faded, when the days stretch out with less structure, happiness can feel not just distant, but irrelevant. The Buddha addressed this directly. He taught that suffering often comes from looking for meaning in the wrong places. We think meaning comes from accomplishments, from recognition, from being needed. And while these things can feel good, they're ultimately empty if we're using them to prove our worth. True meaning, the Buddha taught, comes from living in alignment with Dharma, with truth, with kindness, with awareness. It comes from being present for the life you have, from offering what you can offer, however small. It comes from recognizing that your value isn't measured by productivity or status, but by the simple fact that you're here, aware, capable of connection and care. Let me share a story. There was an old monk who spent his final years sitting by the entrance to a temple, doing nothing in particular. Visitors would sometimes ask the abbot, "What's the old monk's job?" The abbot would smile and say, "His job is to be present. His job is to remind everyone who passes that simply being here, fully, is enough." This might sound too simple. But what if your meaning at this stage of life isn't about adding more, achieving more, proving more? What if it's about being more fully present for whatever arises? For the grandchild who calls, for the neighbor who waves, for the bird outside your window, for your own breath, your own heartbeat. The Buddha spoke of how the deepest happiness comes from being of service, from caring for others, from living in a way that reduces suffering rather than adds to it. This doesn't require grand gestures, a smile offered genuinely, a kind word spoken when someone needs it, a moment of patient listening. These are not small things. They are how kindness moves through the world. When you shift your understanding of meaning from what I accomplish to how I show up, everything changes. You don't need to be productive to matter. You don't need to be busy to be valuable. Your worth is inherent, not earned. One man I knew, Gerald, put it this way after years of feeling useless in retirement. "I used to think my life mattered because of what I built. Now I understand it matters because of what I notice. When I really see the person at the grocery store, when I truly hear my friend's story, when I sit with the sunset and let it move me, I'm participating in life. I'm here, and that's enough." This is the wisdom the Buddha offered about happiness and meaning. They're not out there waiting to be discovered. They're right here, available in this moment, in the quality of your attention, in the tenderness you bring to your own experience and the experiences of others. We've traveled a long road together, exploring the nature of happiness, the tyranny of negative thoughts, and the Buddhist path to inner freedom. And it all keeps pointing to the same place, here, now. This moment. The Buddha's teaching can be summed up in 3 words: stop, look, and see. Stop running from difficulty. Look clearly at what's actually happening, not what your worried thoughts say is happening. And see the truth, that you have the capacity to meet this moment with awareness, with compassion, with steadiness. You don't need to fix yourself. You're not broken. You simply need to wake up to what's already here, the breath moving through you, the awareness that notices everything, the heart that's capable of immense tenderness when you stop judging and just let yourself be. This doesn't mean your problems will disappear. The Buddha never promised that. Your body might still ache. Loneliness might still visit. But when you learn to meet these experiences without adding the second arrow of resistance and rumination, when you practice coming back again and again to the present moment, something miraculous happens. You discover that you're okay. Not perfect, but fundamentally, deeply okay. And from that okayness, genuine happiness emerges. Not the fragile happiness that depends on everything going your way, but the robust happiness that can hold everything, joy and sorrow, ease and difficulty, with equal grace. The path forward is simple, though not always easy. Each day, practice coming home to now. Notice when your mind has wandered into worry or regret, and gently bring it back. When negative thoughts arise, meet them with curiosity rather than belief. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Is it helpful? And if it's neither, let it go like a leaf floating down a stream. Cultivate what the Buddha called right intention. Set a gentle intention each morning for how you want to meet the day. Maybe it's peace, maybe it's kindness, maybe it's simply presence. And then, throughout the day, when you notice yourself getting lost, come back to that intention. Practice being your own refuge. You are not dependent on external circumstances for your okayness. You carry within you everything you need: awareness, compassion, the capacity to be present. These cannot be taken away. They are your birthright, available in every moment you remember to come home to yourself. And finally, be patient with yourself. The Buddha spent years developing this understanding. You're learning to reverse a lifetime of conditioning. There will be days when you forget. Days when the negative thoughts win. That's okay. That's not failure. That's just being human. The practice isn't about being perfect. It's about beginning again, as many times as necessary. Each morning is a fresh start. Each breath is a new beginning. You are never too old, never too stuck, never too far gone to turn toward freedom. Right now, in this moment, you have the opportunity to choose differently, to notice your thoughts instead of believing them, to meet this moment with kindness instead of resistance. So, take a breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice that right now, in this exact moment, you're okay. And from that okayness, your path forward reveals itself. Not all at once, not with certainty about how everything will unfold, but with the quiet confidence that you can meet whatever comes with an open heart and a steady mind. The Buddha once said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." So what will you think today? What will you become? The choice, always, is yours. And the freedom that comes from making that choice consciously, from living with intention and presence rather than reaction and worry, that freedom is the truest happiness there is. May you find that freedom. May you taste that happiness. And may you know, deep in your bones, that you are already, in this very moment, exactly what you've been seeking all along, whole, aware, and perfectly capable of holding this beautiful, difficult, sacred life with grace.